You think you know dogs? Well, think again, because Dachshunds aren't just dogs with short legs, they're a whole different breed of companion, and I mean that literally. If you've ever wondered why your Dachshund acts nothing like your neighbor's golden retriever, you're about to find out exactly why. Today, we're diving into 6 fascinating ways Dachshunds stand apart from every other dog breed out there. Whether you're a proud Doxie parent or thinking about bringing one home, understanding these differences will change how you see these little sausage dogs forever. Let's get into it. Number 1. Their body shape isn't just cute, it's functional. Let's start with the obvious, that iconic long body and short legs. But here's what most people don't realize. Your Dachshund's unique shape wasn't a happy accident or just for looks. It was deliberately bred for a very specific purpose: hunting badgers underground. That's right. While other dogs were bred to retrieve birds or herd sheep, Dachshunds were engineered to crawl into narrow badger dens and either flush out or fight their prey. The name literally means badger dog in German. Those short, powerful legs? Perfect for digging. That long rib cage? It allowed them to maneuver through tight tunnels. That deep chest? It gave them the lung capacity to bark underground so hunters could locate them. This is why your Dachshund has such a different center of gravity compared to other breeds. It's why they move differently, why they can squeeze into impossibly small spaces under your couch, and yes, why you need to be extra careful about stairs and jumping. Their spinal structure is longer relative to their body size than almost any other breed, which makes them more prone to back issues. This isn't a flaw, it's a trade-off for their original design. Number 2. They have a prey drive that puts most dogs to shame. You might have noticed your Dachshund goes absolutely ballistic when they spot a squirrel, or how they become laser-focused on any small animal in the yard. This isn't poor training, this is genetics. Dachshunds were bred to hunt independently underground, where their human couldn't help them. They had to make split-second decisions alone in dark tunnels while facing dangerous prey. This created a dog with an incredibly high prey drive and a fearless attitude that's almost absurd for their size. Unlike retrievers who were bred to gently carry game, or herding dogs who were bred to control without killing, your Dachshund has a genuine hunting instinct with real bite behind it. This is why they're often not great with small pets like hamsters or rabbits. It's why that squeaky toy gets absolutely destroyed. And it's why you can't just let them off-leash in an unfenced area, because if they spot prey, every ounce of their being says chase it into the ground. Other dogs might have prey drive, but in Dachshunds, it's turned up to 11 and hardwired into their DNA. Number 3. Their stubbornness is actually intelligence in disguise. Let's talk about that famous Dachshund stubbornness. You've probably experienced it. You call your Doxie and they look at you like they're considering whether your request has merit. Compare this to a Labrador who lives to please you, or a Border Collie who's practically reading your mind. But here's the thing, your Dachshund isn't being defiant for fun. They're being independent because they were bred to be. Remember, these dogs had to make life or death decisions alone in dark tunnels without human guidance. They needed to think for themselves. They needed to problem solve independently. A dog that waits for commands doesn't survive a badger fight underground. This means Dachshunds are actually incredibly intelligent, but they use that intelligence to evaluate situations on their own terms. They're not trying to disobey you, they're just assessing whether what you're asking makes sense to them. Other breeds were selected for obedience and cooperation. Dachshunds were selected for independent thinking and determination. This is why positive reinforcement works so much better with them than authoritarian training. You can't force a Dachshund to do something. You have to convince them it's a good idea. And honestly, that's kind of brilliant. Number 4. They're surprisingly vocal, and it's all about the hunt. If you own a Dachshund, you know they can be loud, not just barking at the doorbell, but sustained, deep, chest-rattling barks that seem way too big for their body. Here's why. Dachshunds were bred to bark underground so hunters above ground could locate them. That bark had to be loud enough to carry through soil and rock. It had to be distinctive. It had to be sustained. Your Dachshund's voice is literally an amplified communication system. Unlike many other breeds that bark primarily as an alarm, Dachshunds bark as a form of complex communication. They bark when they're excited, when they're alerting, when they're frustrated, when they're playing. It's part of their working heritage. Those vocalizations aren't bad behavior. They're your Dachshund doing exactly what their breed was designed to do. This is also why they can be more prone to nuisance barking than other breeds. That instinct to vocalize isn't something that just turns off because they're living in an apartment instead of a German forest. You have to actively manage and redirect this behavior because it's coming from a much deeper place than simple excitement. Number 5. Their confidence borders on recklessness. You've probably seen it, your 12-pound Dachshund acting like they could take on a Great Dane, or fearlessly confronting something 10 times their size. This isn't small dog syndrome, this is authentic Dachshund temperament. These dogs were bred to face down badgers, which are genuinely dangerous animals with powerful jaws and aggressive temperaments. A Dachshund couldn't afford to be timid or hesitant. They needed absolute confidence, even fearlessness. This creates a dog with a self-image that's completely disconnected from their actual size. Unlike toy breeds that were bred to be companions and often have more naturally cautious temperaments, Dachshunds genuinely believe they're big dogs. They don't see themselves as small or vulnerable. This confidence is part of their charm, but it's also why they can get into trouble. They'll pick fights they can't win. They'll jump from heights that can hurt their backs. They'll challenge dogs that could hurt them. Other small breeds often have better self-preservation instincts. Dachshunds, they literally have the heart of a lion in a hot dog-shaped body. Number 6. They bond differently than other breeds. Finally, let's talk about how Dachshunds love. You might have noticed your Doxie chooses 1 or 2 favorite people and is less enthusiastic about others, or how they can be aloof with strangers while being absolutely devoted to their family. Dachshunds form intense, focused bonds. They're not typically the love everyone dogs like golden retrievers, or the I just met you and I love you dogs like labs. They're selective, and once they bond with you, that bond is incredibly strong. This comes from their working background. They needed to have a close working relationship with their handler, but they didn't need to be social butterflies. They needed loyalty and focus, not universal friendliness. This means your Dachshund's love is earned, not given freely. But once you have it, you have a companion who will literally follow you everywhere, sleep under the covers with you, and choose your lap over anyone else's. It's a different kind of relationship you get with most other breeds. It's deeper, more selective, and incredibly rewarding. So there you have it, 6 ways Dachshunds are genuinely different from other dogs. They're not just small dogs with long bodies, they're purpose-built hunters with unique personalities, instincts, and needs. If you're a Dachshund owner, hit that like button if you recognized your Dachshund in this video, and drop a comment telling me which of these traits your Dachshund shows the most. Is it the stubbornness, the barking, that insane confidence? And if you want more deep dives into what makes different breeds special, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Understanding your breed isn't just interesting, it's the key to giving them the best life possible. Thanks for watching, and give your Dachshund a belly rub from me.